Hey guys, Super Rugby Pacific round 11 is coming up, but it is not just any old round of Super Rugby. It is in fact Super Rounds. All 5 games being hosted at the brand new stadium in Christchurch under the roof. Gonna be huge. In these videos, I talk about the best picks for the fantasy competition, but we have special news for Fantasy this week as well. For one round only, if you take out the top score in this round, you will get a $2,500 cash prize. So even if you're out of the running for the season competition, you got this one shot. This is your opportunity to just go all out. Use your boosters, just full send it, full YOLO picks, and have a chance at coming away with a prize. So this is indeed a very special fantasy round. Anyway, without further ado, let's jump right in and take a look at the fixtures. And as usual guys, like I say every week, but it is very important when we look at the fixtures for the round, we want to identify where the points are going to be scored, where the most tries are going to be scored, which games are just going to be open and have a lot of running, have a lot of line breaks, try scoring, that sort of thing, because that is where a lot of the fantasy points come from, and that's where we want to favor drawing our players from. And in this round where everyone's going all in, it's more important than ever to think very hard about that. All right, now with that in mind, let's start off with the first match of the round, Crusaders versus the Waratahs on the Friday night. Crusaders, they kind of hit the skids recently. I mean, they've been pretty inconsistent this whole season, but lost those 2 games in a row on tour in Australia. This week, they're back home in the new stadium. They're coming up against the Tars, who had a win last week against Moana, but were probably a little bit underwhelming. Satyrs, they've had a lot of injuries recently. They are getting some reinforcements this week in the form of Cody Taylor, which is pretty big, but they are still missing Will Jordan, still missing Shea Fihaki, still missing some other big names, Ethan Blackadder, Cullen Grace. But this week something special, right? They're in the brand new stadium. They are the hosts of Super Round, and I mean, this is a massive occasion, not just for rugby, but for the city, right? Like, there's gonna be a huge crowd there, I'm sure of it. The people are gonna turn up, and I mean, they're gonna be Crusaders supporters, right? And of course, I mean, there's the roof on the stadium, so not only are conditions gonna be good for running rugby, but I mean, there's gonna be that atmosphere, right? Like, you always get that electric atmosphere under a roof. So yeah, even though Crusaders, they've kind of been on a bit of a slide lately, been kind of struggling a bit, I do really expect them to really get up for this one, and yeah, they'll fight in this one and just try and go big, try and put in a big performance. So I am liking the idea of picking Crusaders players this week. Then the first game we have on the Saturday, it's going to be 5 p.m. New Zealand time. It is Hurricanes versus the Brumbies. And with this matchup, you basically got the most dangerous team in the competition. The Hurricanes still look pretty strong last week against the Chiefs, even though they lost that game. Whereas Brumbies, I mean, they're just coming off a pretty historic loss against the Endure at home in Canberra at GIO Stadium. And even before then, I mean, they're kind of been on a bit of a slide, to be honest, had a few poor performances in a row. So yeah, I mean, maybe last week's historic loss might galvanize them a bit, but otherwise, I mean, they're looking pretty vulnerable, right? And I mean, Hurricanes are so dangerous. Yeah, I still expect the Hurricanes could well go pretty big in this game. So liking the Hurricanes a lot, as we usually do most weeks. Then after that, 7:30 p.m. we have the Blues taking on the Reds, and yeah, I really don't like this matchup, to be honest. I'm thinking about fading this one pretty hard just because we got two pretty strong defensive teams. Both these teams, they are highest in the comp for tackle completion at 88% each. Neither team has really conceded a lot of tries either. And the problem is, though, neither team's particularly dangerous either. Like the Reds in particular, they have not scored a lot of tries this year. Only 28 tries, which is third from the bottom for the whole competition. So just not a great source of points generally, at least in the backs. But yeah, really not liking either of these teams this week. Then on the Sunday, we are going to have the last two games. First up will be at 2 p.m. New Zealand time, Highlanders against Moana Pacifica. And despite the pretty sad news last week that this would be their final season, Moana, they did manage to show a bit of fight against the Waratahs. They didn't just roll over, which was nice to see. But with that said, they still just aren't good enough. I mean, they've conceded by far the most tries in the competition. So Highlanders big guns are going to have a good chance to shine here. But the problem is the Highlanders big guns aren't actually playing, right? Like there's no Tangi Tau after that massive head collision last week. He's out with concussion. No Nareki. Rudder Maitavuki Neekins, he is back and starting, so he will be one to consider. And then after that, 4:30 p.m. we got Chiefs versus the Ndrua. And the Ndrua, like I talked about earlier, coming off that historic win against the Brumbies. They've been so bad on the road, the Ndrua, for years now. But yeah, they managed to break the streak last week. Feels like it's probably going to be a bridge too far against the Chiefs, though. The Chiefs are very strong, and yeah, they're coming off against that massive win against the Canes that had a bit of a grand final aura to it, so they are in good shape. Now getting into the actual player picks, we'll start off with the back three. These are our big guns. They have the most opportunity to get the biggest scores for the round, and yeah, this is where you want to sort of focus your decision making if you're serious about chasing after that rank 1 for this round. You're going to need to pick 3 good outside backs, and you're probably going to need to captain the one that's going to go the biggest. But with my top 3 picks that I've got this week, or at least what I've gone with, is Carter, Maka Springer, and Fehi Whinianga Nofo. Other options I do kind of like, though, Sevu Reece, as well as maybe Rudamai Tavuki Neetkins as well. When he was playing, he was pretty consistent, but also hadn't really put in like a massive score, like, you know, that sort of 70, 80 plus type region. If it's ever going to happen, it's probably going to be in this game against Moana, but yeah, he just seems like one of those players who, you know, he's not just taking the game on all by himself and scoring all the tries, right? But definitely an option to consider. And yeah, with the picks I actually have made, I mean, Leroy Carter, I'm a big fan of Leroy Carter. Always gets himself involved. But yeah, the Chiefs, I mean, I expect them to go pretty well against the draw. They should be able to put up a pretty good score. Carter, though, hasn't been that great in recent weeks. I had him against Moana. This is a game where they put on 60 points. Things didn't go so well for him, only picking up 35. We have seen him get big scores in the past, though. I mean, he got this big 91 against Moana earlier in the season. Got 3 tries in that one. So yeah, with the outside backs, like I always say, it's kind of a bit of a luck of the draw. He is playing 14 this week. like he did in this Moana game when he got 35 rather than playing at 11. But yeah, I think you kind of just got to pick your guys and pull the trigger when it comes to the outside backs. And yeah, I'm a fan of Leroy Kata, so I'm sticking with him. With Finney Anganofo, I mean, this guy's kind of been the guy in the outside backs in terms of just picking up massive scores. I mean, we got 200 plus hauls there, which is pretty crazy, to be honest. But it's just a question of what condition you feel like the Brumbies in and how the Canes are gonna go against them. I mean, the Brumbies, even though they've been on a slide recently, that they're not one of those teams like Moana. You're not necessarily going to go out there and put 50 plus on them, but I've been saying that a lot about the Hurricanes in recent weeks, right? Every time they come up against someone, I'm saying they're not going to put 50 points on them, and then they do. Like they put this 40 plus on the Blues as well. So yeah, I mean, maybe they will do that against the Brumbies, right? I mean, you gotta think about that and decide that yourself. But if you do think that the Canes are going to put on a big score there, Finianganofo, definitely a good option, and definitely a good option for making captain as well. And he's probably not going to be the one that gets subbed either. Most likely going to be Mobi or maybe Harkin. So yeah, definitely a good choice there. And then with Springer, I mean, you got options here, right? Like, if you think like me that the Crusaders are gonna go good against the Waratahs, you've got 3 good options in that back 3 between McNichol, Reese, and Springer. I just feel like with Springer, he's the sort of guy that if the Crusaders do manage to break the Waratahs and just start running away with the game, then Springer, he is going to be the guy that'll benefit the most, and he will be the one to sort of just be on the end of all these try-scoring plays. And when the guy's got so much pace, you need to get the ball to him in some space so that he can get away. He's not the sort of guy that's going to make breaks in traffic or with a lot of work to do. Yeah, he is the sort of guy, like I said, if the Crusaders do manage to sort of break the Waratahs, if they build up a decent lead in the first half and start to run away with it, Springer, he's the guy who'll cash in the hardest. Yeah, I think he's a good sort of captain or booster option as well. Like, if that happens, then it's always a bit of a gamble, right? But if that happens, he could be the big play to make, I think, for this round. Now, there are a couple of other lesser known options to sort of talk about. I mean, look, the Highlanders, they're taking on Moana, right? So we talked about Radamaitavuki Nitkin, but Tito Harris and Jonah Lowe are going to be on the wings, and I mean, they're gonna get opportunities in this game, so you kind of have to consider them. Jonah Lowe, I mean, he's played a lot of center this year, right? And he's been pretty good there. This will be, I'm pretty sure, the first time we're actually seeing him on the wing. And yeah, it's just kind of hard to make the judgment about how these guys will go, just because we haven't seen a lot of Tito Harris, and yeah, Jonah Lowe has kind of not been playing in this position. So these guys would be good sort of outsider picks, I think. But this is kind of not really type of week where you want to be going for outsider picks, right? We're not trying to play catch up for the season. So yeah, I feel a lot better sticking to known quantities, but these are still 2 guys you can think about, right? Because probably not a lot of people will be looking at them necessarily. And I mean, the Highlanders, they are going to have a good chance to put on a good score against Moana. But at the same time, I mean, look, the Highlanders, they're not the strongest, right? I don't expect them to be putting on 50 or 60 against Moana like you've seen the stronger teams do. So that's something for you to think about. And lastly, we've got some more newer entrants down here at the bottom. Cade Banks and Hutchison for the Chiefs. Hutchinson, he'll be playing at fullback, and yeah, against the Drua, he's going to be getting opportunities, right? Cade Banks, he's going to be on the wing for the Blues, but while I like Cade Banks, like I said earlier, really not liking the prospects of Blues versus Reds. I think that could be an arm wrestle, and not really going to provide a lot of opportunities for those Blues outside backs necessarily. Last thing to note actually as well with Tito Harrison low is that I think Tan Robinson's on the bench, so it's probably quite likely that Tito Harris and Lowe stay on the field for the 80. Now moving on to the midfield, and probably the big thing to talk about this week is Lester Whanganoko. He has been a pretty popular pick for the slot in fantasy, especially in recent rounds, but he's actually starting at number 7 for the Crusaders this round. So from a fantasy perspective, yeah, I really don't think that really helps his point scoring prospects a lot, to be honest. And Johnny Lee's also on the bench as well, so as well as Dallas McLeod. So yeah, I kind of feel like Leicester might just get subbed off this game, right? Like McLeod will come on for Havili or Enor, and I mean, I guess something could happen, like Johnny Lee comes on at 7, and then Leicester just moves back to 13 and replaces Enor, and both Enor and Havili get subbed or something. I don't know, but yeah, I really think this just kind of hurts his fantasy scoring prospects a lot, in my opinion. Interested to know what you guys think about this, and of course interested to see how it goes on the field as well. But other options that I think will be good in the slot this week, I mean, I've got Quinn Tupai here. I think he's a pretty obvious choice, right? He's been super consistent all year. Last week is the only bad score he has had all season. The rest of the season he's been stellar, and I mean, you know, last week they were playing against the Hurricanes in a tough match. This week they are playing against the Drua, where they should go very, very, very well. So bit of a no-brainer here to go with Tupaia. For your second option for the midfield, I mean, two players I'd kind of like to bring into the equation who aren't normally there are Tavatava Nawai and Tanielu Talia. Just because, like I said, Highlanders taking on Moana, this is kind of the best opportunity these Highlanders players are going to have all year to really post big fantasy scores. And the situation with the Highlanders bench this week with Tan Robinson there means that Tavatava Nawai and Tanielu Talia are probably both going to play the full 80, right? Because Jonah Lowe's out on the wing. So yeah, for these two players in particular, this is going to be their best chance all year to post a big score, and I think they could well do it. If you need to save money for some reason, Talia, I think he's kind of definitely a place where you can make up a lot of that cash. Only 4.2, and I think his prospects are going to be a lot higher than that. Otherwise, though, outside of those Highlanders boys, of course we got Proctor and Barrett. Johnny Rover on the bench. Suspect he replaces Barrett. Billy Proctor, I mean, this guy has been so good. The last few weeks, though, hasn't posted the sort of massive scores he was getting at the start of the season, but I mean, still very hard to look past him. And again, it just sort of comes back to what sort of score you feel like the Hurricanes are going to post against the Brumbies. If you think they can do a big score, if you think the Brumbies aren't going to turn it around, then yeah, I think he will be a better option than those Highlanders boys. He is expensive though at 9.9 million, so Yeah, see how you're going cash wise. You do have options in the slot that will save you a bit of money. Moving on to the 10 jersey, and yeah, it's just really hard this week to look past DMAC. It often is, to be honest, but yeah, this week in particular, right, coming up against the Endure, definitely gonna be dry, and yeah, it's kind of just a bit of a no-brainer, right? I don't know who else you would really consider going for here. I mean, Barrett's going to be stuck in an arm wrestle. I mean, Meredith up against the Hurricanes away. Pellegrini against the Highlanders. I mean, maybe, right? Maybe this is a chance for him to post a, you know, a solid score like 35-40 maybe. But yeah, DMAC, he's just got so much potential here. Like, he's gonna get either a solid score or a massive score. We've seen him get these big scores like this against Moana, right, when he posted this 88. So wouldn't be surprised if he gets up around there again. Like I said, I do not expect the Endure to be able to back up with another away win against the Chiefs. It feels like a bridge too far to me. So yeah, feeling a big score for the Chiefs, and DMAC, he's pretty much a must pick for me this week, in my opinion. Now moving on to the halfbacks, and things are actually pretty interesting for halfback this week. I mean, normally Cam Roigard, he's the guy, right? Like last year he dominated this slot for fantasy, and this year he kinda is again, right? And look, you're not gonna go wrong getting Roigard, right? Only thing that really goes against him is that he is kind of pricey, but you do have more options here. I mean, again, Hotham against the Waratahs. If you think the Crusaders are going to go big against the Waratahs, he's there. Probably would still favor Roigard over him, to be honest. Then you've got Cortez Ratama against the Endure. Again, I expect the Chiefs to go big against the Endure. And we've seen Ratama post pretty good scores in the past, like this 47 against Moana. And this is that kind of matchup for the Chiefs, right? They're taking on a team at the bottom of the table. But he does tend to share a lot of minutes with Xavier Rose. So that is one thing that holds him back. And the last option, an option that I really like a lot and think it's up there with Roigard this week, is Adam Lennox. And if you watched him against the Blues last week, I mean, well, in fantasy, he was like the top scoring player of the round, right? 76 points with these 2 tries, which is huge. But yeah, the guy's just so fast, right? Like if he gets away, or if he gets through half a gap, he's just kind of gone. And I think this was his first start, or at least it was the first start of the season where he had actually got decent minutes. So even though his average is really low, 21 points, it's because he hasn't had starts and minutes, right? And yeah, he got that start last week and we saw what he's capable of. And this week he's up against Moana, right? So you gotta imagine there's gonna be even more opportunities for him to really have a crack and show his stuff. And I'm hoping he does that, and if he does do it, it could be a really big game for him. So yeah, Roigard, he's your solid, reliable option. But Lennox, like, you want to save some cash or you want to take a punt, I mean, yeah, Lennox is right up there, I think. And look, I mean, it's going to save you like 5 mil as well. So if you're feeling a bit cash strapped this week, this is definitely one way to make up for it. And then moving on to the back row, and yeah, kind of a weird week for the back row. There's one pick here that I do feel very good about, and that is Lasanga. Again, just kind of like in Highlanders in this matchup, but also this is a week where Lasanga, he starts and should get to play the full 80 as well, right? I think Renton's going to come on and replace Nicola Broughton, and TK Howden, I mean, he might come on and replace Oliver Haig or potentially one of the locks, but I mean, surely not. So, yeah, Lasanga should stay on, and he favors an open running type of game, and this Highlanders game, it could become that against Moana, right? They could crack them. There could be opportunities to run and score tries, and yeah, really big fan of the Lasanga pick this week. Otherwise, I've gone with Tupotai Loa and Anton Segner. Feel pretty good about Tupotai Loa. I mean, the guy's just been super consistent, and we can see that here with his 41-point average. Posted a 57 against the Waratahs last week without even scoring a try. And look at this, 24 tackles. That is just gigantic. 10 defenders beaten as well. That's a big source of points for him because yeah, he runs into people and they fly away from him. So yeah, Tupotai Loa, just a really solid pick. And look, Highlanders is not going to be the hardest game that they have all year. With the Anton Segner pick, this is probably the softest pick for me out of the three of them. Segner's been very good in recent weeks. You can see here 51, 47, 69. And yeah, this game last week was his best performance of the season, not just because of the 2 tries, but just on both sides of the ball. The guy is doing very good things. Reason I don't love this pick this week is that I have a feeling he could be the one that gets subbed. Torian Barnes is on the bench, and I mean, he's probably not going to replace Satutu, because then who goes to 8? And I mean, it could be something like he replaces Dalton and Segner goes to 7, but I feel like he could be the one that ends up getting subbed, but you can never be 100% sure with these things. But there's also just not a lot of other options that I really love in the back row this week. Like, there's no Lakai this week, and with these other Hurricanes back rowers, I mean, Yose gets the start this week, but he is probably gonna be the one that gets subbed, and that's kind of been the story for him for most of the season now. Yeah, he's just the guy that doesn't get the minutes, which is a bit of a shame. I mean, he is a guy that is capable of massive scores. We saw him start the season with 86 against Moana, and he did actually get some big fantasy scores last week as well. So he could be a guy you go for as a bit of a punt, because yeah, if the Hurricanes do crack the Brumbies and start running through them, that's the type of game where he also kind of shines compared to other back rowers. But yeah, he probably will get subbed, and yeah, I'm not necessarily gonna bank on that happening against the Brumbies either. Another option, I mean, Miracle Wailangi, he's another guy that we've seen post big scores a couple of times, so it's just really inconsistent with when he does it, right? It's very hard to predict. I mean, like I said before, Highlanders not going to be the hardest game that they play this year, not going to be their toughest opposition, but still feels like a bit of a gamble. This is a week to take gambles though, so that's one for you out there. And you could say the same thing about Wanga as well, right? Like, Wanga's a guy we've seen put up big scores in the past. He's just kind of, you get him the ball in space, he can get away and get a try, right? Like, he's a back rower that can score tries when a game opens up. And I mean, even if the Chiefs do really kind of start pounding the draw here, which could happen, we've seen it before, like when the Chiefs play Moana, right? They kind of slacked off on the defense when they had a lead, and you know, that could create opportunities for guys like Wanga to get a decent fantasy score. Last one I would mention would be Satiti. Not really a guy that has been a big performer in fantasy. Just hasn't played a lot of minutes this year, but he does get a start for this game, and he's probably going to get to play the full 80 as well. And coming up against the Endura, I mean, yeah, this is a serious opportunity for a player like him to do well. She's strong coming off the back of the scrum. Could end up scoring points from close range through that. So, yeah, one to consider that you might not normally consider. Moving on to the locks, I've gone with Warner Durns and Tupavai this week. Just two lock picks that have been super solid. I like the Durns pick just because with the Canes, I mean, they got Lakai and Shields on the bench, so there's a chance here that Durns and Delaney both get to play the full 80. So I'll put Caleb Delaney out there as an option as well. But I mean, otherwise with Durns, like, he's just been so good this year, right? He's leading for line-out steals in the comp with 11, tied with Jeremy Williams. And when those line-out steals come your way in fantasy, like, that's +5. That can just make a really big difference for locks. And Brumbies do actually have a strong line out. I think that they're actually tied for top line out percentage. Okay, they're second just behind the Chiefs for top line out percentage. So yeah, I don't expect Durns to be picking them off like crazy, but you never know, it could happen, and he's just a good solid pick anyway. Kind of the same story with Tupavai as well. He's not like a line-out steals machine, but he can be pretty big around the park, and we've seen him post big scores as well. We got a 50 here and a 40 here. We know he's capable of those, and this is the sort of week where you want guys like that, right? You sort of punt on these guys who you know they've got big scores in them, and you kind of hope they come your way, and and that's kind of what you need, right, to take first place in a round. You just need all your shots to line up and land. But the only thing with Vi is that he kind of tends to score better in the tougher games than in the easier games. So yeah, might not really work out, but if you got the money, if you got the Chiefs slots, he's super solid anyway. Only other one that might be worth a bit of a mention is Patrick Tupolotu. He'll be getting a start this week, and he could well end up playing the full 80 as well. He should be match fit now. With that said though, I don't necessarily expect him to have a big game. I just want to make people aware that he could be getting proper game time from now on. Moving on to the hookers, and I mean, we're gonna have to make some decisions this week because we don't have any Samasane Taukeaho to make things easy. So yeah, I mean, Cody Taylor is one to mention because I mean he's been out for a little bit, out for a couple of rounds. Now he's back, but yeah, before he went away, we saw him post this gigantic score against the Endroa, running in 4 tries. And I mean, the maul is something that works well for the Crusaders, so you know, maybe they get that going against the Waratahs. And like I said, I do expect Crusaders to go well this round, just big in the new stadium, having that big crowd, being super round. So yeah, Taylor, we know he's got it in him, right? If the Crusaders get that more going, he could go big, but that is not necessarily something to take for granted, so you might want to consider other options. Sanarevi, he's been pretty solid, but not an exciting option. Bradley Slater, again, a guy who's solid, but in that Reds match, you know, with these arm wrestles, going with the forwards, not a bad option. But yeah, I don't think he necessarily has big prospects to rack up a lot of maul tries in that game, unfortunately. So don't really like the pick. With the Highlanders, I mean, it's kind of a shame that Jack Taylor didn't get the start this week. Instead, it's gonna be Sawani Vakena, and yeah, just a guy who hasn't necessarily had a lot of game time this year, so feels like it would be a bit of a punt to chase points with this guy, especially with Jack Taylor being on the bench. I mean, he'll probably come on sooner rather than later. And another important thing to note as well, Highlanders, they have had massive problems with their lineup this year. But it's been good when Lavanini's there. So Lavanini's back this week. They are going to have 2 locks in the locking slot in the line out. So yeah, I do expect their line out to look a lot better this week. And I mean, like I keep saying, I like the Highlanders against Moana. So McKenna, he is going to get shots at more tries potentially, but I don't know. I don't love it, right? Like it hasn't been a massive thing necessarily for the Highlanders. It's not like they don't go for more tries at all, but yeah, they're not exactly the best in the business at that, mostly because they can't even win their own line out most of the time. But one option I do actually like a lot is Brodie McAllister. He's coming in, he's replacing Taukeaho. He should get big minutes, I'm thinking, just because you probably don't want to go down to your third stringer. Unless you know, if they're quite far ahead, if they've already cracked the drawer, then that might happen. But I imagine they probably do want to give decent game time to Brodie McAllister. And he's just an option because, I mean, we looked at Cody before, right? Banked those 4 tries against the Endroa, and it was just off the back of that maul. That maul was just obliterating the Endroa single-handedly. So, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if the Chiefs look to the same thing, right? Like they do like to use their pack, and Brodie McAllister, he's going to be the one at the back of that maul. So he could well get those opportunities, and probably not a guy that a lot of people are looking at. So if he does go big, well, yeah, that'll definitely be a slot where you're getting an edge on the competition. But I'll go on with Cody, and yeah, I just I feel good about Cody this week. I feel good about the Crusaders at the new stadium as well. And with the props, yeah, you guys know how I am with props. It's all kind of much of a muchness. I've gone with De Groot because, I mean, De Groot's just been kind of solid all year. Always gets a lot of minutes, and coming up against Moana, yeah, it's just going to give him more sort of opportunity for scoring plays than he might get otherwise. And then in the other slot, I've got Fletcher Newell, just because Fletcher Newell's just been super solid, right? Like, not exciting, but solid. And that's kind of all you really look for in the prop slot. So, yeah, nothing exciting here. With the props, you go with any of the guys who are sort of near the top in terms of averages, and you're gonna be fine, right? Like, you just cross your fingers and hope they do well for you and don't get injured. Now we gotta talk about who you take as your captain and what you do with your boosters, because if you have any boosters left, like, you probably, if you got your co-captains or your triple captain, you probably want to use one of them. Remember, you can only use one booster per round. If you could use more than one, you'd pop all of them this round, because yeah, that you want to take a shot at winning this round, right? Take a shot at that 2,500, because winning the whole season, I mean, that's something that's only really left open to a small group of people. So yeah, I'm gonna deploy my triple captain. And if you've got both of them available, the triple captain and the co-captain, you want to use that triple captain when you think there's a chance a guy's gonna get like 80 or 100, something super high like that. And you use your co-captain when you feel like there's just a lot of options that that could do that this week. And so it's usually harder to find a good spot to use your co-captain than it is to use your triple captain. And this week, I mean, there are a lot of options, right? Like the Highlanders have a soft matchup, the Chiefs have a soft matchup, the Crusaders kind of have a soft matchup, and the Hurricanes kind of have a soft matchup. Like you've got some clear favorites here, but we're just not getting the options that we would expect out of them, right? Just because there's a lot of the big guns are missing, right? Like there's no Caleb Tangy Towels and stuff like that. So yeah, I feel like it's not super straightforward this week. I feel like you got a lot of options, but none of them are super clear, like gonna rack up a big massive score. So I've only got my triple captain left, so I'm going to be using it. I haven't really decided on who yet. I have Macca Springer selected at the moment as my captain, and I explained why earlier. I feel like if the Crusaders do crack the Waratahs, if they get a lead early and kind of start to run away with it, then Springer, he's going to be the guy that will benefit the most. But I mean, the match, it isn't necessarily going to play out that way, right? Like you can't really take that for granted. Whereas with the Chiefs, I mean, you probably can take it for granted that they're going to go pretty well in that game, put on a decent score, but yeah, like with the outside back, that's a bit unpredictable, right? Like Leroy Carter, they scored 62 points against Moana, only came away with 35, right? So yeah, you can kind of pick the right matchup, but just zig when you should have zagged and end up with the wrong outside back. But we do have more options for Chiefs though, right? You don't have to look at the outside backs because Tapia and McKenzie are two very good options, and we saw Tapia go big in that Moana game, right? Got 2 tries, got 97 points, and I kind of faded away from captaining him that game because I was saying before that game, like, look, we've seen he's capable of these sort of 50 point, 60 point hauls, but not so much that 80 plus type score. And then he went and did it in that game, right? So we know now he can do those massive scores, and it's kind of similar thing, right? Like they're not playing Moana, but sort of your next cab off the rank in terms of conceding tries is the Fijian and Drua. So yeah, Tapia definitely a viable option. And then of course we got McKenzie as well. We saw McKenzie come away with 88 points in that game. I mean, we all know what McKenzie can do. He also gets to take the shots at goal as well. So he's always going to be a solid pick. He's not going to totally bomb, right? Because as long as the team is scoring tries, he's going to get those shots at goal. Only thing that kind of worries me about the McKenzie pick this week is that there's no Josh Jacob on the bench, right? Normally Jacob comes on, goes into 10. McKenzie gets to move to fullback later in the game, and that can be where he gets a lot of his points because he just gets to play at the back, uses vision, and just attacks ball in hand, attacks the space, and that's how you kind of get points in fantasy. But yeah, they got that young guy starting at 15, and yeah, it's just, it doesn't look like he's going to end up going to fullback this game. So yeah, I don't know, like it's a solid pick, but I don't know if it's going to be like an 80 plus pick, which is kind of what you're really looking for when you go to use your triple captain. Tapia Cook-Savage, he is the one on the bench for the Chiefs, along with Puketi, who's a center. So I mean, Cook-Savage, he is in that bench position to come on as a 10, right? But I just kind of wonder if he's going to come on at fullback and replace Hutchison. Like, it seems like it'd be kind of odd to just throw a guy into the 10 jersey that really hasn't played a lot. But I mean, maybe they'll do it, right? Maybe maybe if the Chiefs crack the draw, they get a bit of a lead, then yeah, they'll put him in that 10 jersey later, and D-Mac will go to 15, and Hutchison will go off, which would kind of make sense as well. So yeah, there's a couple of ways that could go, right? And yeah, I don't know, like it's just hard to predict, but Mackenzie will be just a solid pick either way. And then, I mean, the last one to consider as well, Finiang and Offo. Again, that just comes down to, like, how hard do you feel like the Hurricanes are gonna blast the Brumbies, right? How much steel are the Brumbies gonna bring to this match? I mean, if the Hurricanes are gonna put 50 on the Brumbies, maybe you just slap your booster on Finiang and Offo, right? So yeah, pretty straightforward pick there, right? Like, Finiang and Offo is the guy when you know points are gonna be scored. Anyway, guys, that will do it from me for this super round best picks video. A lot on the line for this one, but it feels like it's kind of tricky this round. Like, we got a bunch of clear favorites and a lot of options, but to me, all the options, they kind of feel like they're on a even sort of level, right? It's kind of hard for me to pick where the dam might break. It could be in all of them, it could be in none of them. So yeah, really not sure how things are gonna go. Interested to hear your guys' thoughts, and particularly I'm interested to hear who you're putting your boosters on. So please go ahead and leave something in the comments. But otherwise, enjoy the rest of your week. Enjoy Super Round on the weekend, and I'll catch you in the next one. I'll see you later.